Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WODcast podcast. I am your host, Eddie Ifft. Each and every week, I bring you one of the greatest shows in the history of strength and conditioning, CrossFit, obstacle course racing, anything that takes elite physical fitness, health, nutrition. We talk about it all. We talk about it all in the show. It's been a very fun week. Just gotten back from touring. I was in Wilmington, North Carolina. I was in Naples, Florida. I was in Key West, and then I went to Edmonton, Canada. So I went from hot to cold, and shows are selling out. Shows all over were selling out. Edmonton, not as well. Canada, what's going on? Canada, they have to have a QR code showing that they've been vaccinated to get in. So it's throwing a little ruffle into my ticket sales, but things are going great. I want to thank you guys for coming out. I really appreciate it. All the CrossFit gyms that have been making it out too. I didn't really think you would do it, but you are. Who knew? And get a hold of me. I would like to see, if you want to make it an event, you want to come out to one of my live shows at the comedy clubs I work at, bring your gym as a good holiday party or something like that. Come one, come all, bring them. And I can probably hook you up and get you maybe some discount tickets or maybe every once in a while some comp tickets, depending on where it is. I really like to take care of the whole community. My show's coming up. I'll be in Reno, Nevada, the 30th. I have a show before then. If you're in LA, this Friday night, the 26th, I will be at, it's called Supernova. Just Google Supernova Comedy. You'll see it's a really good show. I believe it's an outdoor show. So it's really, really fun. Has like the top names in comedy there all the time. So come out. I'm just doing a spot on that. But then you want to come the 30th to the 5th of December. I will be in Reno, Nevada at the Silver Legacy Casino, the Laugh Factory there. Tickets are available at eddieift.com. And then I head to Tahoe. I've got to do a show on the 10th in Tahoe, charity event at Harrah's Casino that I'm doing for the firefighters. I'm a big supporter of firefighters, especially wildland fires, because I've experienced those and know how tough of a job it is for those guys. So come out to those. Bozeman, Montana on the 11th. That's a big, important show. Bozeman, I want you to be there. I got to tell my dog to be quiet. Roxy, quiet. Quiet. See how well that works? Look at that. Look at that training. I am like the dog. I'm the opposite of the dog whisperer. I'm the dog yeller. I yell, they listen. But Bozeman, Montana on the 11th. Tickets available at eddieift.com. Then you can see me in Anchorage, Alaska, and Wasilla, Alaska, the 17th and 18th of December. And then the 23rd of December, I'll be in Pittsburgh at the Improv, and the 26th, I'll be in Pittsburgh. Then I go to Scottsdale, Arizona for New Year's Eve. That whole week, I'll be in Scottsdale. Check me out. Then I go to Boston, Laugh Boston. Then I go to Sun Valley. I'll be at the RGO's Theater. And then Irvine, the Irvine Improv on January 22nd. I am taping my 1-hour special. Let me know. I will get you free tickets to this show if you contact me at WODcastpodcast@yahoo.com. WODcastpodcast@yahoo.com. You get free tickets to the Irvine Improv to see my taping. I've got 1,000 tickets to sell, so I'm setting aside 100 comp tickets. First come, first serve. You want them, I will give them to you. I would love to have you there. Then I do Calgary, Canada, Vancouver, Canada, Chicago, Illinois. I'll be in Vegas, Colorado. Check out all my tickets at eddieift.com. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for supporting. And also thanks for joining the Patreon. Patreon is a wonderful way to support the show. It really, really helps. I wish everybody would be a part of it. I do the show. We're almost on 500 episodes. I give you a show every week. I give you the best guests in the business. I really work hard at getting good guests. I'd like to get a booker, though, to help me. I'm so busy. I need someone to book this show up. And I also want to get back to doing a 5th episode on the Patreon where you get 5 episodes a month instead of 4. But what you do get for $5, you get in the running in a drawing for a Maya Pucks and a leopard paw. They are some of the best rehab devices you could ever have. I'm using a rehab device right now called the Powerball. And I do these little exercises. If you are on our YouTube page, which is youtube.com/ WODcast, you could see what I'm doing to fix my dodgy elbows. I'm working with a company called Erosti that is an online physical therapy program, and this is what they have me doing. It's working. My elbows are getting better. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, our Patreon. You go to our Patreon, $5. Please support the show. And I tell you, there's a really good chance you're going to get yourself a leopard paw and a Myopux. Myopux is an electronic muscle stimulator. It's the kind of stuff that pumps your muscles for you so you don't re-injure the injury. You don't injure the tissue or bone, and it brings good blood then to the injury to rehab you quicker, way quicker. All the top physical therapists use these. You should use one. It's called a Myopux. And again, the leopard paw, what that does is it basically breaks up all of the gunk is not a word. It breaks up the adhesions in your fascia that, again, allow better blood flow. And that makes your injuries go away a lot quicker. So get yourself one of these by signing up for the Patreon. It's worth about $450, and you're going to give $5 a month. So for like $60 a year, you're going to get $450 worth of shit. Sounds pretty good to me. Okay. And this week's winner, ready? We're going to do the winner is of the Myopux and the leopard paw, Sierra DeHart. Sierra DeHart, we need to hear from you, Sierra DeHart. Send us an email, WODcastpodcast@yahoo.com, and we will have that sent out to you, okay? Yes. That will happen. Troy over there at Leopard Paw and Leopard Claw and Myopux will send that out to you. Okay. Let's get to the show. Let's get to the best part of the show, which is the interview. This week I interview a friend of mine who just became the world champion, winning the toughest mudder, which is a 24-hour race with like multiple obstacles. You got to run about 90 some miles, I think is the record. And it's brutal. It's brutal. And I know you guys are all thinking, oh no, not Hunter McIntyre again. No, he couldn't win this. No, his girlfriend won it, who is a much better athlete than him. Katie Knight, a friend of mine, she's an incredible athlete and is really doing well in a lot of the obstacle course racing. And I believe she could do really well in CrossFit if she wanted to put her mind to that too. We had a great talked all about the race and her, the fact that she's the current world champion. So hope you guys enjoy. If you have anything you want to go to the Instagram, WODcast Podcast. It's at WODcast Podcast. You can go to my Instagram at Eddie Ifft. And again, always you can email us at WODcastPodcast@yahoo.com. I hope you guys enjoy the show. And here we go. Anything you say can and will be held against you in a court of law. My first question, Katie, when did Hunter McIntyre tell you about his herpes?
Yesterday. It's been a tough day.
No, congratulations, Katie. I want to congratulate you. This is the first I think I've talked to you since you won the toughest mudder, which is pretty phenomenal. It's if anybody doesn't know, it's you ran up to close to 90 miles.
90 miles, exactly.
You ran 90 miles. You did this all nonstop. And how many obstacles in between?
It's about like 20 obstacles per lap. So it's 24 hours, 5-mile loops, nonstop, and about 20 obstacles in between. And so I got like 18 laps.
Wow. And you finished first. Did you beat Amelia Boone?
I did. Yep.
Wow. I've reached out to her to be on the show. She didn't come on the show. Funny.
Interesting.
I don't need her now. I've got the world champion.
Nope. It's true. You have the winner right here.
So, that's congratulations. That's amazing. So Hunter McIntyre, who's known as a obstacle course kind of champion, he's never won that, has he?
No, he hasn't.
Wow.
He has not, but he also hasn't attempted it solo. So he's done it on a team in one, but
Yeah,
not solo.
it's a lot easier on a team, isn't it?
I would say, because you have like people to keep you going. I mean, you have people on course as well, but this is more just a you thing. And this is also my first Tough Mudder ever. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So going through the course, the obstacles would open up at different times of the day or night. And I'd be like, oh, well, this is new. Or, hey, how do you do this one? Because I've only seen YouTube videos of it, essentially.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was really fun as I went through the course, and figured out how to do everything.
So I should mention, for anybody that's listening right now, the reason we're giving Hunter such a hard time, Katie and Hunter are involved to some extent in, I guess we'd call you roommates.
Yeah, I guess so.
And you've been dating on and off for the last 150 years.
Essentially, what
Yeah.
it feels like.
Yeah. So I love the fact that you won that, and Hunter's out of shape. So this is this.
I hope he listens to this.
Oh, it as soon as this thing goes up, he's listening to it. He's probably at that door right now with his ear up to a glass, listening, because he's so narcissistic.
He'll probably slip like notes under the door to tell me what to say.
I was just gonna say, did he give you any notes like on what you should or shouldn't say on the show today?
He told me to say hi to you.
Oh, because he didn't call me earlier this morning.
Right. And then he also said that if you're being a dick, I can always just leave the show.
Now, why would I ever be a dick? Like, see, that's the kind of friend he is. He tries to make me look like a bad guy all the time. He's one of those friends that tries to that's what narcissists do. They try to make everyone else look bad around them. And he does do that. He'll be like, Eddie, why'd you say that?
Yeah, pretty much. Although he was my like lead pit crew guy, and he did a fabulous job.
That's awesome. Hey, look, that 68 miles I did, I never could have done without him. He basically mentally carried me through the whole thing. So
on the backbone,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, which you also did solo.
Right. Well, I had some people come in, run alongside me, and then you were there and you gave me my some water. I remember.
Yeah. I also at about midnight or 1 a.m, towards the end of the race, Hunter called me, and I drove down I was going to drive to Sandstone Peak and go hike up in the middle of the night to find you, because we couldn't find you.
Oh yeah, because we weren't done yet.
Yeah. I think you were alone at that point, weren't you?
No, John Burkle was with me.
Okay. John Burkle, who ran the 68 miles with me.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So he crewed about 30 miles for me. Hunter did 10, and then I did the rest solo.
Hunter only did 10. Good boyfriend.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, sorry I couldn't have helped you on that, but I did. I was about to go hike in to find you in the middle of the night.
It's okay. We made it out, but I appreciate it. I didn't know that.
When we couldn't hear from you, Hunter started to worry, and he said he started to panic a little bit. For anybody listening, Katie ran 68 miles over the Backbone Trail, which is about 17,000 or 18,000 vertical feet. It's not the distance; it's the climbs. The climbs are what's ridiculous. You've got
and the weather. It was very hot.
Oh,
we went about 2 12-mile stretches without water, no water.
Wow! Yeah. Wow! See,
because one of my crew members forgot to bring water. Can you guess who?
Oh, I know exactly who.
Yeah.
He's he bought shoes the day before we did it. He put on brand new shoes. I'm like,
of course.
And then he's like, I have so many blisters. I was like, I wonder why. We were so lucky. It rained like 2 days before we did it, and then it was about 60 degrees, so it was like perfect for 60 something for us.
That is perfect.
Yeah, I can't. I've always said I can't imagine doing that in like 75, 80, 85 degree heat. It would be awful.
It was 75 and sunny. It wasn't supposed to be, but it was. So
what time of the year did you do it?
October.
Yeah, we did it in November. It's funny? Today.
Oh, really?
2 years ago we did it. And we were going to do it again during the pandemic. I really would love to organize it, because there used to be a Backbone Ultra, and they do the Bulldog Ultra, but I really think there should be a Backbone race, where beginning to end, and because there's a little bit of navigation. Like we got lost a little bit right in the beginning, but I think it'd be fun for people to do and just see if you can run 68 miles. And
oh, I think it would be awesome. It should be a race
now
because it's very difficult.
You beat us by like 4 hours though, I think. Too.
Well, I also didn't stop and have beers and take a nap.
We didn't take. Oh well, Hunter. I didn't take a nap. I never drank a beer. Hunter drank beers.
I think some people in the group did.
I ate. Yeah, but only 4 of us finished. So
okay.
So I was smart. I ate 2 double doubles though at one point.
Oh wow! Yeah, see that's impressive. You need that fuel.
Yeah.
So.
It's crazy the food you start needing. What did you eat during? Oh wait, let me find out. So how fast did you do the backbone?
I think I'd have to look back at my Strava, but I think it was like 13 hours,
okay,
14,
so
something like that.
You beat us like 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah. But I also missed the FKT by like 45 minutes.
Yeah, I think
we had to walk out because we were so dehydrated.
I think the girl that has the record, I think her kid goes to school with my kid.
Yeah, she just said it like last winter, I think, or sometime recently.
Didn't she do it and then another girl like beat it the next week and then she went back and beat it again?
Yep.
People are freaks.
I know, they're insane. It's a fun trail though. Like if you could own the backbone and like that's your trail, that's pretty cool. So, I'd like to go back and do it.
It's I talked to Mike Anderson from CrossFit Malibu about it. And I said, I'd like to finish it by running back on the road and make it 100 miles. And he goes, you don't want to do that. And I said, why? He said, when you're doing a different cadence and a different pace and different steps all the time, you're working different muscles. Once you get down there on the flat and you start getting in that rotation of running the same pattern over and over, that's when you'll start getting hurt really bad. And I was like,
yeah, I can see that.
And I was like, yeah, I think I should. And it would just get so boring,
No, it would. To run back on the PCH would be miserable.
Yeah, but that loops it to make it 100 miles.
That would be pretty cool.
I mean,
maybe that should be like the full ultra. Oh, the backbone 100. That'd be cool.
What would you rather do, the flat in the beginning or the flat at the end?
I hate running on flats.
So
I'd rather climb any day. So I probably would like to get it out of the way. And it'd be, I'd like to get out of the way, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then end on the trail.
Could be a great 100-mile race.
Could be.
I just hate organizing stuff. We'll let Hunter do it.
Yeah, I like that. He'll do it.
The Backbone Ultra, 100 miles. I think they used to have one on the Backbone called the Coyote Ultra, I think. And,
okay.
And I don't know why they don't do it. All you have to do is get like a permit from the state parks. And then,
and they already do the Bulldog one, so that would make sense.
Yeah. A woman that cut my hair once. I just went into a place in Venice to cut my hair, and she was the organizer of the Bulldog Ultra.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So anybody listening, the Bulldog Ultra is a 15 or 30 mile race around Malibu Creek State Park, which goes up this thing called the Bulldog, which is one of the most brutal climbs that you will ever go up. I've only gone down it. I go up the elevator and then down the Bulldog. I've never gone up the Bulldog and down the elevator. Have you gone up the Bulldog?
I've done both, and it's brutal.
Which one's worse, the elevator or the Bulldog?
The elevator just seems like it's so long. Like it just keeps going. And
that's
going,
how I feel about the Bulldog.
Is more steep, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, really?
The Bulldog.
Well, they both do. They're both miserable.
The Bulldog's the one that whines.
Yes.
That's deeper into the park. The elevator's the one closest to Piam or Les Virginis.
Right, and that one doesn't whine, but it just feels like it's forever.
It's I think to the picnic table, it's for anybody listening that's into this kind of stuff. I believe it's 2,000 feet of climbing in 3 miles.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I remember doing that because you do it on the Backbone.
Yeah.
And I remember I think Hunter was crewing me at that point. He was just essentially holding my back as I walked up it, pushing me up it because it's gnarly.
That's where they all left me.
Oh.
So I got hurt coming down Saddle Peak Mountain, and everybody left me, and I didn't blame them. I was my knee was killing me, and I knew once I got done uphill, I'd be fine again. It's coming down, where it hurts. It was that patella tendonitis or whatever it is, chondromalacia. So once I started climbing, I was alone and it didn't hurt. And I swear the whole way I was like, fuck, 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 because I was alone. And I just kept thinking, like I was doing all the math and I'm like, I'm going to go into Sandstone Peak in pitch black all by myself. And I just didn't want to be at the end with no strength and like in the middle of like anybody that knows this area knows that it's full of mountain lions. And and mountain lions can sense weakness.
And you were feeling weak.
Well, I just knew by the time I'd get there, that'd be at like the 55-mile mark or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll be dead at that point and I'm going to be all alone. And then I met up with Hunter at one of the canyons and he was waiting for me and shoved some ibuprofen in my mouth and
perfect
and kept me going. And then I stayed with him the rest of the race, which was I really think we should do this. I know there's a lot of listeners that want to do it, and I think you and Hunter should organize it because I have kids. I can't do anything.
That's true. You have your hands full. I think it would be awesome. I'll definitely take it into consideration because I want to go back and try the FKT for it. So
well, that'd be great if you could break the record. I might try to do it again. I might.
Well, you have to.
I don't know. Not if
you have to be a part of it.
Not if
you
I'm
have to
organizing.
At least the section.
I'm going to promote it on the podcast and see how many people we can get. I mean, I've talked about it before, and I've had probably 25 people write to me and say, "I want to do it." Yeah, I think if you get a good crew of 50 people, that's all you need. You know,
I think that'd be awesome.
And you have a big beer party afterwards down by the beach because you finish at the beach.
You do, and it's really cool if it's before nightfall. But even if it wasn't, you can have
campfire and drink some beers and soak your feet. I mean, I don't know how you felt, but after I did it, I went. My wife had to put me in a bathtub.
That's essentially what happens. I sat in the shower. I was like, I think I'm going to stay in here all night. I cannot get up.
I spent a whole day in bed the next day.
Oh yeah. Do you lose any toenails?
No.
No.
I had 3 little tiny blisters. I wore these socks. I forget the name of them. They sponsored me, and they were amazing. They were those toe socks.
Oh yeah. Those are supposed to be really good.
Yeah.
But with the backbone, it's just like so much ascending and descending that your toes are just toast or like blisters or anything. It's really hard on the body.
I used to wear Innovates with the hard toe thing, like the toe protector.
Oh,
you know, the front, you know, it's got like a little plastic thing. So if you kick rocks, it protects your toes. But that actually made me lose a toenail because
it was too hard.
Well, I jammed into it.
Yeah. Over and over.
Yeah. And so so then I switched to Nike Wild Horses.
Yep.
And
a lot of people like those.
The best shoes I've ever worn. They're absolutely amazing. And I felt like I never changed socks. I remember you changed socks on the back pound. I was like, don't do it. Don't do it.
Well, I actually, during the Tough Mudder, didn't change socks or shoes once. And like most people, like Mark, the male winner, changed like 3 or 4 times.
Wow. I think there's a secret to not changing.
Well, kind of like, but also you're in and out of the water so much on the world's toughest that it's like kind of gross.
Yeah.
But I was just like, in my mind, I was like, no, I don't have time. We're just going to keep going.
But also like, I feel like once you like let those beasts out, you start to see like the damage that's being done. And and the swelling starts. Like there's compression with a shoe on and a sock. You take the shoe and sock off and all of a sudden your foot like explodes and you're like, oh no.
Exactly. So if you can't see it, it doesn't exist. It's fine.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my mentality. And then when I took them off at the very end after like the finish line and after all like celebrating and stuff, my feet were pretty bad.
So
like,
how much
toenails just came right off.
How much did you win the Tough Mudder by?
How many miles?
Yeah.
5 miles. So
in 24 hours, you got 5 more miles than.
Yep.
Who was second?
Amelia Boone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she got second, but I kept lead over her the entire race. But what happens, sometimes it doesn't. But this race, 4th place wouldn't stop running. So 3rd place couldn't. So 2nd place couldn't. So I could not. So it was essentially just whoever was going to stop running or drop out was going to lose. So like, as long as I kept going and I ran for 25 hours, essentially.
Why 25?
So you have until noon to start your last lap. And then you can go until like I think 1:30 or 2 is the final off. So essentially you can run more than 24 hours because they let you start your last lap if you get there before noon.
Okay. And
so the race is noon to noon. So I got back like at 12:04. Otherwise I was going to try to go out for 95.
And so,
which would be a record.
So you did finish, but you didn't finish it in time, but you did finish your final lap.
Yes, I did. Yep. Okay. Yep. So we finished 90 exactly, which ties the record for the most amount of miles in the world's toughest. And then 95 would have been the record.
Wow. So do you think you'll ever do it again?
Oh, for sure. I'll go back next year and
I'm gonna
get 95. I got a whole year.
How old are you right now?
29.
Wow. You better finish this soon because you're going to start putting a beating on your body.
Oh, for sure. Although some of the greatest endurance athletes for females are like competing well into their like 40s.
Yeah, so, women are different than men. You have such good endurance.
It is true. It's true.
That ability to have a baby makes you be able to endure pain.
That must be it. I don't know yet.
I just feel like everything on me is breaking down, but and then I go do something stupid like this, like a backbone run, and afterwards I'm like, yeah, I'm fine.
Exactly. You survived.
I had knee pain for about 6 months.
Yeah. Well, it's all about probably spending a certain amount of time on your feet prior to doing a big race like that.
Sure.
Even if it's walking or hiking, because your knees weren't used to that.
And your genius boyfriend told me not to train.
Told you not to what?
He kept telling me I was overtraining for it.
Oh, interesting.
I'd go on like a 30-mile hike and he's like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Don't do that.
Don't prepare, just go in cold.
Yeah, well, he said, you just want your body to be fresh. And I was like, yeah, but my body has to be able to endure this distance. And he was like, no. He's like, trust me. He goes, this is going to be so much fun. It'll be so easy. That's what he kept saying.
I mean, both is true. Your body needs to be adapted, and then you also need to go in fresh, like have some like deload time. But you definitely have to be used to being on your feet for that long. Was
Tough Mudder fun?
I think it was fun. Obviously, there are times where it was really painful, or like in my head, I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go home.
Yeah.
But overall, it was really fun. And I had just a month and a half prior done Spartan's Ultra World Championships, and that's a 24-hour race as well, and that was in Telluride.
How'd you do
it that
one?
I got third in that one, so that was my first ever 24-hour race. This was the second.
Who got first and second?
Rhea Coble got first, and she's a big top dog in the ultra industry. And then a girl named Chikorita got second.
What a name, Chikorita.
Yeah, isn't it? She's from Mexico, but I technically got second and finished second on course, but Spartan has this like burpee penalty rule. So if you miss a burpee, it's like 30 minutes. And I missed a couple because I just miscounted at like, 2 a.m. or whatever. And so I had like a 90-minute penalty. So I finished second on course, but got third.
So people listening are probably like, why are we talking so much about obstacle course racing? Isn't this show about CrossFit? You train mostly in CrossFit though.
Yeah. I would say a majority of my training is CrossFit. It's where I started. It's what I love. And then I kind of throw in running and biking. But I think CrossFit and strength training make you very competitive and strong for obstacle course racing.
You used to coach, right? Were you a coach at a CrossFit gym?
Yeah, actually in Boulder, which is where I am now, CrossFit Sanitas, which is now the HQ, I coached and trained there. So I coached adults and then kids and teens as well.
So you worked for Roza?
Yes, I did.
Wow. What was that like?
He's awesome. It was fun. Sanitas is such a fun gym. It's a really cool space. It's in Central Boulder. It's got a lot of fit athletes in it. So I love it.
He seems like a really nice guy.
He is nice. Yeah. We had a Christmas party, a staff party at his house once. It was a lot of fun.
Are you back at CrossFit Sanitas?
I am looking. So since it changed and I moved to Malibu for a while and then I'm back. So I might be going to Coda CrossFit, which is nearby as well. I've dropped into Sanitas a couple times too, but.
And CrossFit Sanitas is now headquarters?
Yes, it is.
So do they film there or is that still out of Santa Cruz? Do you know?
I think that's out of Santa Cruz. I haven't seen them film there or anything.
Okay. It's just where he is.
Yes.
And he still works out there.
Yep, I think so.
The celebrity that he is. I wonder if he coaches any classes.
I don't know. I haven't seen him coach any classes. I saw him at the gym like a couple weeks ago, but
he's
not coaching.
He's a beast of an athlete too.
Oh, he is. Yeah.
I mean,
he can lift a lot.
He's a beast. His Fran
Mhm.
time, everybody was joking when he bought CrossFit how good his Fran time was. It was like 2:30 or so. I mean, 3 flat or something that was like
Right.
really, really impressive. And I forget how old he's in his late 40s, is he?
I
I don't,
think so, yeah.
yeah. He's a
Yeah.
really, really impressive athlete. And it's weird. Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of him like you used to see of Greg Glassman all the time. The
Yeah,
constantly
I think he's
speaking.
kinda staying out of, like, the, like, spotlight, which is
Yeah.
probably smart.
Yeah, not bad, especially in these times.
Yep. You never know what could happen.
Okay, so let's go back to, even though I know you, I've worked out with you a few times and you're a
Mhm.
beast, but what was your background growing up? What did you start in? What sport?
I played all sports growing up, so, like, basketball, softball, ice hockey was my main sport, and then I played that in college.
Let me guess, you have brothers.
I do have brothers. I have
Yeah.
2 brothers and 3 sisters,
Oh, you have 3 sisters.
so
I
big
didn't know that.
family.
I knew you had brothers.
Yep,
I did not know
yep,
that you had sisters though. I thought you were just like
yep.
the lone girl in the family and that's why you were such a good athlete.
Nope, there's 6 of us all together, and 4 of us played hockey. So me and my sister played, and then my brothers played.
Are you Catholic?
I'm not. I
Oh.
get that question a lot. I'm from
Yeah,
Iowa, the Midwest, so, like,
it's
big families are a thing.
farmers need kids to like plow the
Yeah,
land. Um,
to do the chores.
yeah. Did you grow up on a farm?
No, I didn't. I grew up, right outside of Des Moines, which is the capital, and then, my family has, like, farms in the, like, the outskirts of Iowa.
Uh, so where were you in the family?
I'm 5 out of 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the name for that? There's a name for that. I'm 4 out of 5. I think it's like,
Oh,
I forget what kind of child that is, but it's not middle child, it's something else. But your brothers are older, right?
I have 1 older, 1 younger.
Oh, interesting. I'm all wrong on this completely. I'm gonna make some other guesses. You have one brother that's black and one that's Asian, right?
Pretty close.
Okay. So did your brothers play hockey?
Yes.
And
Mhm.
and that's how you got into it.
Yeah, and my dad played growing up, and in college as well, and then he was our coach.
Okay, that there it is.
But yeah, so I played with the boys all the way up until college. So I played on some travel girls teams, but otherwise it was with the guys, which is really fun. They either wanted to, like, kill you, or, like, they wouldn't touch you because you were a girl.
Right.
Yeah.
I I can see that, and I always wonder that about like girls that wrestle and girls that play
Hmm.
football. There's there's a little bit because I get it sometimes with surfing where I'll be paddling for a wave and I'll see a girl like fighting me for the wave. And part of me is like, you're not going to steal this wave from me. Like, you're a girl. And then other times I'm like, hey, I should back off. Like she's a girl.
Better have it.
And it's basically come down to I just shouldn't assume because sometimes there's girls that just like smoke me and like steal the wave
Hmm.
off of me and make a fool out of me. And then there's other times that the girl's just a kook. And so I should just treat them, how I treat everyone else. But it hits you
Which
like
one usually wins out in your mind? Do you let them have it, or do you take it?
it all depends. And I there's so many times where I'm paddling. There's times when I look at a girl like you're just getting in my way. But I think that with guys too. I'm like,
It's true.
you stink, you're getting in the way. Go paddle down the wave and or go in the inside or something. And then there
Yeah.
are times when I'm just like, oh my God, this person just keeps smoking me and stealing the wave from me. So who knows? There's many, many, many millions of women that are better surfers than me. So um, I had a question for you though. Have you ever gone ice skating with Hunter?
I haven't. That's one of the activities we have not
Of
done,
course
but I'm
not.
going to take him this winter. So
Of course not, because he knows you'd smoke him.
he thinks he's gonna skate faster. I was like, "Can you skate backwards?" And he's like, "Well, I can try, but I'll beat you forward." And I was like, "Okay, we'll see."
Bet my life on it. I'm so much older than him, and he's so in such better shape. But I still think I could beat him in a sprint.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah, I think I can because I think it would have to be short enough, like a 40-meter dash or something.
40-meter dash, yeah.
Yeah, because as I get older, I can't even the hundreds and 200s are too much for me.
Hmm.
But there's just too much of a distance or like age difference. But I know, he's got that endurance and stamina where I just have pure like fast twitch muscle fiber. So I would love to.
I'd pay to see that. I'd put money on it.
Yeah, I just would worry one time with Baby Hunter. We have two friends that are hunters, you know, we call them Big Hunter and Baby Hunter. Baby Hunter one time was like trying to race me and I popped a hamstring. So that's what I wouldn't want to happen.
Little Hunter was actually out here today. They went running.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they went up the Flatirons.
It's not Little Hunter, it's Baby Hunter.
Oh, Baby Hunter. See, I've always heard Little Hunter.
Yeah, it's Baby Hunter, Big Hunter and Baby Hunter. Izzy's the one that named them that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, my daughter named them that. You know, my daughter hates Hunter.
Oh, really? No, I didn't know that.
Hates. When she goes to soccer, I told her she needs to be more aggressive. And I go, pretend the ball is someone you don't like. Who don't you like? And she goes, Hunter McIntyre.
Oh, that's too funny. She's awesome. I love all the stories you post of her. She's a character.
He gave her a scary clown painting for her 3rd birthday.
Yeah, I'd probably be pretty mad too.
He might as well have given her a Chucky doll.
Yeah.
Like that.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And he's not coming back from that and he doesn't understand why.
Well, maybe if he buys her like a pony or something. Or like whatever her favorite toy is.
Okay, back to you.
Yes.
Your programming that you do you use HAOS?
I do. So I do use House and then I do my own thing as well.
So House is Hunter's Academy of Strength. I've used it. I felt for me it was too much volume and I had to.
Which program did you do?
I've used a lot of them and I cherry picked. Okay. And when I do cherry pick, like I like using it. I use his programming when I use programming. Right now I'm just doing Wendler cycles and
nice. That's smart.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get stronger and I'm trying to, once I can get a base strength again, then I'll go back into it. And I'm working on a running program I'm doing this like run a 6-minute mile in 6 weeks.
Okay.
Because as I've gotten older, I can't run miles that fast anymore.
That's smart.
Yeah.
And so what week are you on?
I was on week 4 or 5 and I strained my Achilles. So I'm going to have to start over at square one.
The Achilles is hard. That actually took a lot of damage during the world's toughest because it was running on sand the whole time, like flat sand. And then there was some power hiking, but not a lot. So it was just basically like running for so many hours. And so my knees and my Achilles were just not used to that. So you
were in the desert, right?
Yeah, in Laughlin, Nevada, which is pretty cool. It's right along the Colorado River.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It's like an hour and a half southeast of Vegas. And it's like its own little like world along the river. And it's actually really beautiful. I've never even heard of it before, but it was really cool.
Okay. So give me a breakdown of the 5-mile run, what it consisted of.
Yeah. So the first 2 miles only had about I want to say 2 or 3 obstacles. And then it got really obstacle dense the last 3 miles. And that's where you also had to go in and out of the water a ton.
So give me some of the obstacles. Do you remember? How many laps did you do?
18.
So you know it like it's memorized in your head.
It is true, but I also don't know all the names of them because again I've only.
So let's describe them. First obstacle. What do you have to do?
You had to go up and over a very tall, probably 15-foot wall. That the one thing about Tough Mudders is that you can help each other on course. Okay. So unlike Spartans, you can't. But Tough Mudder, everybody's helping everyone over. I
like to say I'm against helping.
You are against helping.
I like the Spartan model.
It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird at first. And I didn't take help for probably quite a few laps. And then as it got later, there's one called Everest and you have to run all the way up a ramp and you really can't do it by yourself. Nobody does it by themselves. People are at the top and they grab your hands and you still have to pull yourself up. But you have to run and sprint and then make it to the top.
Oh.
So
that would get so annoying later and later in the race.
Oh, and then there's one called Fear the Beard.
Were there times that you were up the top there and you saw Amelia coming up and she's like, help me. And you're like, no, bitch. And pushed her right back down.
No, I actually didn't. I was probably too far ahead of her to ever see her. So.
Wow.
But not by that much. But you have actually people who are running the race, but they choose to take their race experience and they help people the whole night. So they're at the top of Everest, or they're helping people up walls the entire time.
Are they doing the race, or are they just hanging out there?
So they're essentially like, they paid for the race, they did everything, but they go to an obstacle that they want to stay at and they help people. It's incredible. I'm like, every time I went through them, I was like, thank you so much. Like, you're amazing.
That's
That's what
crazy.
they choose to do. Yeah.
Okay. So first obstacle, is the wall slanted? Is it a straight wall with a rope? What is it?
It's a straight wall, and then it's like a T. So there's a big ledge at the top.
And it's how high?
I don't know, 15 feet.
Okay. So how are you getting up this thing?
So you usually have like people that are running like behind you or at the wall, and they like put a knee out and you jump up and over. So you still have to do essentially like a muscle up over, but like they give you like, you know,
right,
stepping.
a boost. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So up over that. Next obstacle.
Next obstacle, you get to, let's see. You think I would know this better.
Yeah.
But doing it so many times, you just kind of like keep doing it and you don't even know. Next one, you would get to, I don't know what it's called, but it's like basically a huge ladder that you have to climb up and over, like big 2x4s that you climb up and over.
Okay.
I think it was like, it had hell in the name. I don't know. And then you got to a water obstacle where it's like a zip line across. And for the first like 12 hours of the race, you got to like jump on this floatable object and like pull yourself across. And then they took that away at like midnight, and you had to hang upside down and go across the water. So and if you fell in, it was a mile loop as a penalty.
So that is, you're doing that military style, like knee over rope? Like,
yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's not really a zip line. You're not like holding on to something.
No.
It's
just like a tightrope or whatever you want to call it.
You're pulling yourself across the rope.
Yes.
That sucks. Did you wear gloves?
I did not.
Did your hands get beat up?
They did get pretty beat up, and then like kind of like pruny too, because you're in the water so much. And luckily, usually for World's Toughest, you're in wetsuits because it gets so cold and the water is like freezing as well. This year it was like kind of mild, like it was cold, but as long as you kept moving, it was okay. So like the top 3 on male and female didn't put wetsuits on, so I never put one on.
Oh, so you stop at like one of your aid stations and put it on when it gets later in the day.
So you stop at your pit crew where you're getting water, snacks, food, whatever, and then going out on another lap. So that's the beginning of every lap. You stop there.
How long were your pits that you were taking? Your pit stops?
Probably like 5 minutes to like 8 or 10. So like you don't want to stay there long, and like you might sit down for a second, and then your pit crew is responsible for being like, now leave, like get out of here.
Is your pit crew, can they see, just like in like NASCAR racing, can they see the other guy, like your competitors, and see where they are and go, you got to, like, they're in now, you got to get out of here?
Yeah, so they can see everybody come in, because like all the top people's pit crews are like near the front, and then there's also a huge leaderboard, and the leaderboard shows name, like where you're at, because there's different spots where your timing chip goes off on the course, so they see that. You can see that as you go through. I tried not to look, and then they would just tell me like where I was essentially the whole time. But I don't like to know anything really, or like even a time. Like I don't wear a watch. I just keep going.
Wow. Yeah. See, I like as many distractions as possible. So I like to like check my heart rate. I like to know the altitude. I like to just constantly monitor stuff and do like math in my head going, well, if I finish this one in a 9-minute mile, then I can, that keeps me from thinking about pain.
Yeah.
Like, what do you,
that is smart.
What are you doing? Like, you go to the pain cave?
I kind of just like blank out and just like, like what time is it? I don't know. Cause I don't want to know like how many more hours I have left or anything like that. I did pay attention to my lap times. So the goal was to keep it below 90 minutes the whole time. And I kept that. So my first lap started out under an hour, and then slowly, obviously as the night goes, they crept up, but it stayed around 1:30 the whole time.
Wow.
So that was the goal.
Okay. So after the hand over hand rope, what was next?
Then you ran a little bit further, and you got to something called Fear the Beard, which was really difficult. it's basically on a huge slope. You have a net that's tied to the ground, and it's really tied to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And you go through like a ditch of water, and then you have to climb all the way up to the top of the hill with this net like pressing you down.
Okay.
And to do it solo is really hard because, like, again, this net is smashing you to the ground. But if you have a group of people, you kind of all like go up together. But it's pretty difficult.
How does a group make it better?
Because like you all get in the center and you push up with your backs on it, and then you can kind of like
so you're under the net.
Under the net. Yes.
Oh, I thought you were on top of it. I'm like, how does the group help?
That's not hard.
Oh my God, you're under this net. Oh wow.
Yep.
So when you would get there, would you get a bunch of people and go, hey, let's go together?
Well, if you can see people behind you or in front of you and you can like catch up to them or something, you're like, all right, everybody group together. People kind of know what to do. But like in the middle of the night, there was a couple of times where like nobody was around and I don't have time to wait for people. So I was like, okay, this is a solo mission, which is pretty hard.
That sounds horrible.
Yep.
That's the hardest part is I'm antisocial and just going, hey, come on, team, let's do this together.
You would just do it solo the whole time.
Yeah, I just die alone. I'd make one lap. Okay, so after that.
Yeah, there was pits of water that you would go in, and then you crawled under barbed wire. So like they're kind of similar to Spartans. If anyone listening knows Spartan obstacles, but that one was pretty easy. You just roll under the barbed wire, get up and keep going. The next one, I believe, was...
How cold was the water?
Like pretty cold hose water.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's one called the Arctic Enema that they put like ice or something in to make it really cold.
Oh.
And you go down this like huge slide into the water where you can't like, it's hard not to submerge all the way.
Right.
And then you crawl up and under ropes and nets again.
Oh.
That one was hard.
Is that the one is there one that you would always come up on? You're like, oh, this one again.
Yep. It was that one. That one and Fear the Beard, the one that you have to crawl up.
They say what always breaks the Navy SEALs is the cold water. Yeah.
At first, like when you're running through the day and it's the desert and it's hot, like really hot and windy, like 85 degrees at least, you get to them and you're like, oh, this feels amazing. Like, this is awesome. And then in the middle of the night, it's like, oh, I don't want to do this one again.
Yeah.
It's just brutal to think about getting in.
Yeah.
Because the next one is it's this fence that is on top of this huge ditch of water, and you have to, on your back, crawl under the fence and like make your way through to the other side. So only like your head is showing.
Oh.
And you're completely in water. So if you're claustrophobic at all, that one can be scary.
I'm out.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know. I'd get to it. I'd be like, okay, so what do I do on this one?
Yeah, that sounds spooky as shit.
Yeah.
How many were there total in a lap?
Like 20, 25. But those are like the top ones that like people like to do.
I love that.
Like
I love that though, because I'm not really good at anything, but I'm a better start and stop runner than I am just go, 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 go. So like even sometimes when I'm training, I do like 6 minutes on, 1 minute off, and I'll run, like 7 miles like that.
Yeah. Good tempos.
And when I do it, it's like nothing for me. But the whole idea of like consistent go, go, go. So the fact that like all these obstacles would just be such a break for me of breaking up that running. And so I guess if if there's 5 miles and 20 to 20, that's like 5 obstacles per mile. Am I right?
Yeah, except for they put it so like only like there was more than that per mile at the very end. So the last like probably 2.5 miles had more than that, which it is really nice. So I've done ultras where it's just straight running for 50 miles. So like trail ultras, like Bryce Canyon or whatever. And that is a lot more that can break you a lot more than an obstacle race, because you do get to stop and split it up. So I think these are way more fun.
Yeah. Well, I just like the idea that, what would you say? So you're probably only running about on average a quarter mile. before these are like quarter mile
have to
laps.
stop and do something.
Yeah. I love the sound of that.
Yeah. Which is nice, but these obstacles, you actually had to crawl a ton. So like your knees were like pretty tired halfway through, because it's just, you're crawling a shit, and then it's like, then you got to get up and run.
Is there a way? So when I play paintball, I think the key to winning paintball is knee pads.
Yeah.
Because knee pads and elbow pads, because you're always diving on the ground, and you're diving on the ground to get low so that people don't shoot you. And you want to, it's the best, safest place to be. And diving on the ground, because it's like, if somebody was really shooting a gun, no problem. But when they're like shooting a gun that can't kill you, you're like, oh, I got to get on the ground again. I think I'd rather get shot. But so if you have knee pads and elbow pads on, you're just like diving everywhere, because you're like, fuck, I can't get hurt.
Right.
So
some people wear those.
I was just going to say, would knee pads be a real assistance in this, other than hampering your running?
I think if they were like thin ones or something, because I know people do pull them out like halfway through the race and use them. Yeah. I did not, but it'd be a good idea.
It also sounds like something like, when guys wear knee sleeves and then they pull them down when they're lifting or when they're doing something else, that you could almost do like up and down.
And I think people do that too. Okay. I was told to, I just forgot, and I was like, oh well.
Yeah. So your knees, did they hurt afterwards?
Yeah. My right knee is still pretty cranky. But that's to be expected. The recovery takes about like 2 weeks.
Oh, just 2? I tried 6 weeks to 6 months for this guy over
here.
That
could be too. I probably could recover longer, but
you're also in your 20s still. Yeah. You'll see. Sometimes
can't wait.
My age, you get hurt in bed sleeping. Like you wake up and you're like, oh, how did I do that? I think I tore my rotator cuff sleeping last night. But not now that I have an 8 sleep mattress.
How is that?
Life-changing.
Is it?
I just had neighbors walk by and they're like, what are you doing? I was throwing out the box from my 8 sleep mattress, and I go, it's my buddy's a commercial director, and he had like 3 buddies. I'm like, come here, I got to show you something. And I started explaining the mattress, and they're a sponsor of the show. And I felt like I was getting paid commission the way I was selling this mattress to them. And they're like, why are you this into this mattress? And I'm like, you guys don't get it. It's like the Tesla of mattresses. It literally, there was this, they should pay me for this. There was this thing we used with Cruz and not Izzy called a snoo. And it's, if you're a parent, you need to get one. It like with a baby. It was life-changing from one child to the other, because like Izzy was so hard to put to sleep. It was like impossible. And you'd hold her all night long and, do all these things to get her to sleep and rock her. And then this thing came out called the snoo, and it's basically a robot parent. And we'd put Cruz in this little like Velcroed suit, and then like you attach him into the snoo bassinet, and it rocks him according to like his sleep pattern. And when he gets louder, it plays like the white noise louder, and and he would sleep through the night every night. It was like amazing. Well,
wow,
amazing. Like every single night he would sleep all night long. Cut to, I'm basically sleeping in an adult snoo. Like the 8 sleep mattress. It checks your like not your vitals, but it monitors your heart rate. And it's temperature. Like you basically say, hey, I usually go to bed at this time. I like the temperature hot or extremely hot or warm or cold or whatever. And then it like directs it through this like pattern of like cooling and heating while you're sleeping. Wow. And it's like artificial intelligence. It figures out after a few nights what your patterns are.
That's pretty cool. I've never even heard of that.
Oh yeah. And you get like a sleep rating, like how you slept. And my wife, Lauren, she was always bitching about her sleep. She's getting like 100% now. I haven't gotten mine up there yet. She's getting like 100%. And so now Izzy tries to sleep in there. And I'm like, no. And she's like, it's not fair. It's not fair. Your bed's so cozy, and why my bed's all cold.
That's true. She needs one too.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to tell them we need another one for our daughter.
I think that was because the Whoop does that too. It tells you like your quality of sleep. That always like messes with my head, because if it says I didn't get a good sleep and maybe like I woke up and I was like, oh wow, I slept a lot, that like throughout the day.
Yeah, but
like,
that so I used Whoop, and I'm kind of using this in the same way that the Whoop. That was really, it's great for me because I used to overtrain. And not overtrain like, oh, I'm crazy doing like lots of workouts, but I would have like 2 hours sleep and go try to do Murph and kill myself and then get sick because my body wasn't recovered and ready to do that. So I think there's a benefit to it. I think if you start paying attention to it, you start paying attention more to your sleep, and you go, you know what, I should go to bed earlier. I should do this. I should, because I really do think, after talking to like Rob Wolf and all these guys and reading, is it Matt Wakefield? Who's the guy that wrote Matthew Walker, the book on sleep? I just think that's like the key to everything.
It really is. I should get one of those beds. Yeah. I definitely need better sleep and recovery.
You know who uses one is Medeiros. That's where that's where I heard about it. And I was like, huh, what is this bed?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then I think they contacted us, and Lauren told me about it, and I was like, I don't need another mattress. Like all these mattress companies have
given. Right.
And I was
they try to sell you all
the time. Yeah, and I was like, and she's like, no, I've heard about this mattress. And I was like, what have you heard? So I read reviews, and I was like, okay. So then I got it, and we've had it like a week now.
That's awesome.
And Lauren's like, I just want to sleep during the day when the kids are at school. And
that would be dangerous. You'd want to like always go take a nap. We should definitely, I'll tell Hunter we need to get one.
It's so cozy. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Anyway, I feel like I just did an infomercial for them. So
well, they are a sponsor of the show. So
I know, but I feel like I don't do that. And but I am like addicted to it right now. And it's my new toy, and I really love it. So thank you, 8 Sleep. Anyway, back to, we don't need to go through every other obstacle.
Yeah.
What was your training like, and like mileage wise up to this?
So my training is usually a little bit different from like typical ultra training, where I just focus more on time on my feet, and then a lot of biking. So in order to keep a lot of impact off my feet and my knees, like running so many miles, I'll do a lot of mountain biking. So I'll probably split it. So I'll run like 40-mile weeks and then get like, as much possible biking as I can. But leading up to this one was a little different because I just finished Spartan's 24-hour one a month and a half prior. So I took like 2 weeks off and then kind of hit the ground running, and then a week of like taper.
And is that under Hunter's advisement?
Yeah, for the most part. And then I spend a lot of time in the gym, probably too much, but it's what makes me feel good. And I feel like it makes me strong for these. So, I'll spend like 4 or 5 days in the gym. And then most of my days are doubles. So it'll be gym and run, or gym and bike, or bike and run.
Okay. That makes sense. That sounds like a good. Now, what about CrossFit when it comes to like CrossFit competitions? Have you ever done any of those?
Yeah, so when I was working and training at Sanitas, I jumped into a couple like team ones, and then some individual comps as well. I love CrossFit. Kind of like makes me want to get back into it, and then I'll go run ultras, and then I'll switch back and forth.
Well, sounds like you're perfect for High Rocks.
Yeah, so that's the next competition coming up, is end of January in Chicago.
Okay.
So that's like American championships, and then like world championships for High Rocks will be in Vegas in May.
I might go to those.
Yep. Ooh, you should do it. Have you done one?
I have no, I just might go to watch it. I am not going to compete in it. I don't know. I don't like
they have like doubles now and relays, and I've done doubles, so I've done individual and doubles is really fun because you split all the work.
I don't like CrossFit competitions because I'm extremely competitive and I will hurt myself. And I remember like doing one years ago, and it wasn't even like a competition. It was almost like, for fun thing. And I got so competitive, and I was like gaming the whole thing. There was like a Filthy 50 workout kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I figured out that if I skipped the snatches, or it was like clean and jerks, and just went to the double unders and just did more double unders. Like if I came in completely rested, I could get so many more points.
Right.
So like I was standing there and everybody's like, pick the weight up. And I'm like, and I'm just standing there giving everyone the finger. And they're like, pick the weight up. Come on, what are you doing? And I'm like, and then I'd go to the double unders and get like 200 in. And they're like, oh,
that's fine.
They're like, you're cheating. And I'm like, no, I'm not cheating. I'm smart. And they're like,
it's strategy.
Yeah,
you have to have that.
They're like, you're not doing it the way you're supposed to do. We're doing this for cancer. And I was like, yeah, I'm doing it to win. And I'm like, you can beat cancer. I can beat you.
Yeah, you probably would be out on the Tough Mudder course just alone and dying.
Yeah, exactly. So
sounds about right.
So I'm not good at competitions, but I might go to watch, or I'll be probably in Vegas then doing shows. And
there we go.
And I would like to go watch it, see if Hunter can, crawl back out from the Rockies under of losing. And what was he, 4th or 6th last time?
God. It was 4th. And then, so this time it'll be number 1 for sure.
So how does it feel being the only world champion in that house?
It feels pretty good right now.
I love that.
I got some power.
Do you mention that every day? Like you should say stuff like, could you please pass the salt to the world champion?
I don't, but I really like this idea.
You should just constantly. I'm
gonna start leaving notes that say like the world champion says hi.
No, do stuff like if you leave food in the refrigerator, be like, sorry, this is for the world champion. Current world champion. That's what you should call it. Because I know he'll be like, I'm a 7-time world champ, and just be like, current world champion.
2021.
Yeah. In fact, that's all I'm going to call you from now on. You're not Katie. You're the current world champion.
I like that. I like that. It's got a good ring to it.
Yeah.
I like this one because it's like world's toughest. So you're technically like the toughest.
Yeah, you're like tougher than him because he's tough, but you're the toughest.
Exactly.
So when do you guys think you're getting married?
That's an interesting question.
Are you putting the pressure on him yet?
No.
Because if you do get married, I want to officiate.
Oh, do you?
I really do.
Are you a licensed?
No, but I'll get it. If you do it in a comedy club, I think I can do it. But if you get married, I just want to officiate so I can say, do you, current world champion, take?
So that would have to happen in a year.
Take this number 6 or number 4. I'm just gonna call him number 4. That's not even a bronze medal. He's 4th.
Yeah, it's true. It's not anything.
Is that his Bruce Lee painting over there?
So I found that at Goodwill.
That's awesome.
How sweet is that? It was like cool. $10. And I was like, he needs this for his office.
Yeah, he does need that.
Yep.
The only thing he has in common with Bruce Lee is that he's dead.
Hunter's dead?
Yeah, his soul is.
His soul is dead. He has no soul.
No. I don't know. I think Hunter will come back, and I have a feeling he'll win the High Rocks.
Oh, for sure. I don't think there's a question about it.
I think that was too humiliating for him.
I think that he's training very hard, and by May he'll just hopefully set a record, which would be cool.
Right. And I was talking to the owner of High Rocks, and he thinks the only person capable of doing it is Hunter. So
I agree. Yeah, Christian's awesome. So
let me ask you this. Have you ever considered doing the Ironman?
Yes, that is a goal. I want to do 100-mile race, and then like an ultra, like the one across the desert, the Dead Man 100. I think that's what it's called. It's pretty brutal. And then, yes, I'd love to get into Ironman because I love to bike and swim. So just like with these, I don't know why I haven't ever done one before. It's like my 3rd Spartan race and 1st Tough Mudder. And so, yeah, Ironman's next.
So I was going to do this year when I was training because I like to mountain bike a lot and run, and I only like to run on trails. I was going to do that, the Xterra race.
Yes, because that's all trail.
Yes.
That's exactly what I would want to do.
Yeah, there's one down in Laguna, I think. And I think it's around September. I think I'll train for it next year and do it. I signed up for the Ironman in August. I'm doing Mont Tremblant. I'm in a relay. I just have to do the marathon. And I'm doing it with two of my lifeguard buddies.
Nice.
The one guy who's doing it with me, he was the former coach of Bucknell's water polo team. He just did the Around the Island swim in Atlantic City, and they pulled them all out of the water because they didn't make their time, but they pulled them out at about 16 miles. They had like 22 miles to do, and I think he was in first or second place.
Wow.
And he was mad. He was really mad that they pulled him because I think they sent them in the wrong direction around the island because the way the tides were going, and it screwed them up. So he was really mad about that. But he just told us that he might try to do the English Channel swim.
Don't people like die doing that?
People die doing everything.
Well, yeah, but like especially that.
He'll be fine. And if he does do the English Channel, I might crew him and go over and be on the boat.
That'd be a fun place to pick her somebody. Just ride on the boat.
Yeah, I think that'd be really fun. So I'm doing the Ironman with him, and then our other idiot friend who's a swim coach who's going to do the bike. And like, as far as we're all pretty even, I mean, he's a better swimmer than I am a runner, and he's a better swimmer than our biker, but I'll be okay. I really don't want to run a marathon, but I'll do it just to hang out with my buddies.
I've never ran a marathon. I've only done
they're so boring.
Halves and 50s.
They're boring. They're boring as shit.
I know. I have no desire
so fucking boring.
It's on a trail.
Yeah. So I say we train for the Laguna Xterra. Have you ever?
Do they do it like through Crystal Cove then?
I got to look at it again. I looked at it briefly and I was like, oh, in fact, I thought I'll just go down and do the course on my own. And the way I am, if I do the course, I might just go, I did it. I don't need to do it. Why?
I don't need to do it again.
Why give them the money?
True.
Like I'm not one of these people. I don't need cheering audiences. I actually I love the backbone run of having nobody there. I don't want people.
It is cool.
Yeah. I did the New York City Marathon. Everybody's like, go. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Stop cheering for me.
Well, people said to me, they're like, wait till you get into Manhattan. When you come over the bridge into Manhattan, the whole city's there and they're all cheering for you. And it just gives you so much energy. And I remember the exact opposite happened. I came over the bridge, people started cheering, and I literally wanted to punch them in the face. I was like, shut the fuck up. Like
that matches your personality though. That would make sense.
Well, I do comedy, and I luckily, I like people to laugh. I like to make people feel good, but I don't want people like, come on, you can do it. And that's what I felt like it was. It was all this moral support type shit. And I was like, hey, if I needed you, where were you when I was training? I'm doing this shit myself. I don't need you. So some people get off on that.
That's like anybody who like pit crews me, I tell them like they have to be mean. Like, get your shit together, get going. Not like, you can do it, like, we believe in you. I don't respond well to that. So I agree with that. If those people were yelling like, fuck you, keep going, you'd probably be like, yeah.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Run faster.
Let me ask you this. What's your family think of your masochistic behavior?
They think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
And every time after, I'll be like, my knees hurt or whatever. And they're like, yeah, why did you do that?
Yeah.
But they're very supportive. They think it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. It's awesome. I'm very proud of you. I think that's amazing that you are the world champion, the current world champion.
True.
I don't have any other friends that are current world champions right now.
Nope, and not for the rest of the year either.
Wow. Well, you get to hold it for the whole year. There's nothing that he can do to redeem himself.
I do.
Where is he right now? He's in that closet right there where he belongs?
He's not. I wish he would pop out. And he's out biking right now, or he'd be in this room. Yeah. Every podcast I've been doing, he's been like peeking in and like saying something.
I was surprised and I was worried. I think he texted me earlier about something, and I was like, oh, he's gonna show up and try to like start talking and ruin her show.
Yeah, unfortunately, but it would be funny if he popped out of the closet.
That would be awesome if he waited this long.
And you know he couldn't do that.
No, he would wait 2 minutes. But like an hour into the show, Hunter comes out of the closet and tells us all that he's really gay. Not just gay, that we know he is. He's really gay.
He shares some gay stories, yeah.
Yeah. So how happy are you to be in Boulder and not up in Crestline?
Have you? Oh yeah, you went to visit Crestline. Yeah. Crestline's actually really cool.
No,
it's not. A couple weeks training there.
No,
you don't like it at all?
No.
Well, but you like to bike and run. It's like perfect.
It's a white supremacist militia land.
It is. It's in an interesting town. I've never like visited there before. But I really like the mountain biking and running. But I do love Boulder. Boulder's like my favorite place.
Right.
And it's got good running, good biking right out our back door. So.
Well, I believe I'm in Boulder. I think I'm doing the Boulder Comedy Theater April 10th.
Oh, cool. So that's a cool place. That's a fun venue.
I'm doing Steamboat Springs the weekend, like Friday, Saturday.
That's also one of my favorite places.
And then
cool.
Then I'm doing Boulder, and then I think I'm doing Vail that weekend, maybe Denver, the Comedy Works. So I have a whole week out there. So I will see you guys if you're there. But I'll probably see you before then. Are you guys?
Yeah, well, we should be out, and then we'll probably be back to visit at some point.
So is he still keeping the place in Malibu?
Right now, yes.
Okay.
I do believe so. Yeah. Okay. And
Uh,
then the cabin, and then here.
Okay. So what's your next race?
I will do High Rocks end of January.
Okay.
Because the race, like Spartan and Tough Mudder, the season's kind of done. We were going to go over to Abu Dhabi and do Spartan World Championships, but with travel and I'm still recovering, it just didn't work out. So yeah, High Rocks will be the next one in Chicago.
Okay. And if anyone wants to reach you or find you or see your training, you've got an Instagram?
I do have an Instagram.
It is?
K80 Night. And then my training is called Nighttime Training.
So it's
with a K.
K80 Night.
Yep.
K80
K80_night.
Oh, see, well, you had to add that. People would never have found you. K80_night, KNIGHT.
Yes.
And your training, you have another Instagram for your training?
I don't have an Instagram. The link is in my bio, but it's called Nighttime Training.
Okay, Nighttime Training. And then people can go there to sign up for your training?
Yep. And they can also DM me and also send messages through the website.
Do you get any creepy DMs?
I do.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Like a lot?
It just depends. So after like big races like this or stuff, it'll be just like interesting message requests. There's a couple people like, wanting to like Venmo me money.
Can I have your socks? Can I buy your socks?
Pretty much. Like, just like OCR fans.
Do you have any stinky shorts lying in the corner?
Or shoes,
Really? Has anybody asked for shoes or socks?
No.
Okay.
No.
We had on the strongest man in the world on the show, and he's Robert Obst at the time.
Oh, cool.
And he was telling us all the weird requests he got from dudes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, from dudes.
From dudes to like buy his like underwear and all kinds of weird shit like that.
His like used underwear, I'm sure too.
Look, being a stand-up comedian, no one's asked for anything of mine. Nobody wants anything. They're like, just please don't send me anything. I just like, thanks for the laughs.
Well, what would you ask a comedian for? Like if it was you sending a creepy DM, like what would you?
I know I've gotten if the not the strangest, but like requests I get are like, hey, can you make a video for my friend? It's his birthday, or can you? It's always like videos and say something funny, or I've left people's voicemails and stuff like that for them.
Nice.
But I've never ever. I don't think anything The only creepy thing that's ever happened to me in my life was I was renting. I was subletting my apartment out when I lived in Venice years ago. And a guy asked if he could rent my apartment for one day. And he wanted to pay a month of rent. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. He goes, before you say yes, I need you to know that I film fetish videos and I want to use your house to film a fetish video. And I was like, if it's like, are you like videoing someone's feet, or are you guys like throwing poo at the wall? Because there's
a big difference.
Yeah, there's a spectrum. And he was like, all he wrote back was, "Yeah, you probably don't want us." And I was like, "Yeah, no, you're out." Like,
yeah, so it's probably on the other end of the spectrum. Yeah. Good choice.
Yeah, but I imagine that girls, and you're an attractive girl. I imagine that like girls today, with the way, basically like Instagram's like Maxim magazine. And so it's like all these pretty girls, but like millions of them all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And dudes like I'm on chains with a bunch of guys, and they will just send girls Instagrams like, "Look at this girl," or "Look at this girl," or "Look at this girl." And I'm not a creep because I'm married and I have kids, and I just don't want to be that guy. But my friends will send these around, and I'm like, does this girl have any idea that her picture is just being featured on a chat line where a bunch of guys are discussing, like...
They probably do. They probably know that their pictures are, if they like know what they post, especially if it's like super scandalous. I think that's the point.
I know, but it's so weird to me.
And it is weird.
And I just wonder, like, so you're putting yourself out there like that. It's almost like when I was growing up, you'd go to bars and you'd go to nightclubs, and then guys would hit on you, and girls would get offended a lot when guys would hit on them. But now I assume it probably happens through DMs, like you're out there and you're presenting yourself like you're in a bar, like you're dressed up and you're standing at the bar. And this is the bar. Instagram is the bar, and you're at the club, and you're there, and then you get a guy coming up, "Hey, how'd you like to work out with me?" Like...
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's more sent through DMs because you can, and anybody can send them these days. So
glad I'm not single. I really am. I got out. Do you know that I got out? The day I got married was the day I learned about Tinder on my wedding day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's lucky. That's lucky.
I never had to do it. I did Grindr once.
That makes sense.
Grindr's the gay one. And I was on tour with a comedian, and he just came out of the closet, and we were like 5 of us in a van. And one of them was Hannah Gadsby, who's like super famous now for her Nanette. But there were a whole bunch of us. We were on tour, and he's like this little gay kid, and I'm sort of friends with him. He annoys me a lot. I won't say his name. Australian comedian. People probably know who he is right now, but he's a good guy. When he was younger, I really liked him. When he got successful, he became such a prick. But but I still like him. I still like the guy. He's just kind of catty. Anyway, he couldn't. He was having difficulty like meeting dudes, and I was like, "Go on Grindr." He's like, "I'm on Grindr," and I'm like, "Well, what are you doing?" And it's just like, say, "Hey, I want to fuck," and he's like, "It's not like that." And I was like, "Give me your phone," and so I was doing well on Grindr. I mean, I was
just sending DTF to everybody.
I was the Cyrano de Bergerac of the gay world. I was talking so dirty to these guys that they were so good to go. Like, they were like, "What time can I meet you?
When and where?"
Yeah. And I did it also on our podcast one night. We tried to Tinderize my friend Jason's. Jason was my sidekick on our show that we used to torture on Talking Shit. And he was not having any luck on Tinder. And we were like, give me your phone. And so I didn't do this. My friend Chris Wilde did. He switched it. Or Laughlin did it. I forget who did it. One of our comedian friends they switched. Oh, Lance Patrick. Lance Patrick did. He switched him from like seeking girls to seeking guys.
Oh.
And so
big change.
So I said, "Can I talk to them?" We just kept saying them. I said, "Can I talk to them?" And he would give me the phone. He had no idea it had been switched. And I was like, "I'll talk for you, and I'm really good at talking to them." So I was talking very ambiguously to all these guys that were writing to him. They're like, "Hey, what are you doing? What's up?" And I was like, I would tell him what I was saying, and I would be like, "Oh, I want you to come over here and do blah, 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 blah." But again, it was very ambiguous. and that you couldn't tell that I was talking to a guy. So I'm like, oh my God, I just got another one for you, Jason. I got another one. And I'm
Was
like,
he super pumped? Was he
he was going crazy. He's like, this is amazing. And I go, hold on. I go, this one wants to come over right now. And he's like, well, don't bring him here because, I don't want her on the show. And I was like, okay, do you want me to send them to your apartment?
Please tell me yes.
Of course I did. So I gave out his address to like 5 dudes. And it wasn't until the end of the podcast, like an hour into it or 2 hours into it, we did the reveal. We're like, oh, Lance, you switched this to guys, seeking guys. And I was like, oh, Jason, there's a bunch of guys going to your apartment right now. And he's like, what have you done? And I was like, look, this has just proven one thing. You will do much better in the homosexual world than you will heterosexual.
He should switch teams. He clearly was winning.
Yeah. So, all right. So what are you doing for Thanksgiving and Christmas?
We're going to have a big Friendsgiving in Denver, and then I'll go home for Christmas.
Nice. Are you going to take Hunter again with you and let your brothers beat him up?
Yep, exactly. There'll be a big wrestling match in the front yard, like always.
Are your brothers the wrestlers, or isn't it one of your like cousins that's like one of the best?
It's my brother-in-law.
Okay.
He was very good in college. And then like everybody I know in Iowa.
Yeah. But wasn't your brother-in-law like national champion or something?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. What's his name?
Bryce Bohm.
Okay. Was he just done after college?
Yep. Yep.
Didn't try to get into MMA or anything like that?
No, not really. He's got 5 kids, so he's pretty busy.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And so are your brothers good wrestlers?
My younger brother wrestled for a little bit. Older brother didn't. He played hockey. So they mostly played hockey, which is the same season as wrestling. So
do they beat the shit out of Hunter when he comes over?
They certainly try.
Do they all?
Pretty big dude.
Do they all really wrestle?
All of my brothers?
No, I mean, like, do Hunter and your brothers, when he goes home for the holidays with you, does he wrestle?
My brother-in-law and him do.
Are you serious?
They were supposed to have a match out in the front yard in the snow. They never ended up doing it, but.
So it was a lot of talk.
It was a lot of talk.
Who was doing all the talking?
Maybe this year.
Let me guess who was doing all the talking.
Yeah. the one hiding in the closet.
Yeah. Well, Katie, congratulations on all your success, being the current world champion. I'm so glad to have you as a friend. I felt like something was lacking in my life. I don't have any friends that are world champions anymore. And
I'm so happy I could provide that.
Now I have one. I think everything you're doing is great except for your choice in men. And I wish you all the success in the world. Have a great Thanksgiving. And again, if you guys want to go to Katie's Instagram and send her creepy DMs, it's at
K80_night.
K80_night. And you can go in the link in her bio to see her training. And one last question. What did you eat during Spartan or during Toughest Mudder?
A lot of pickle juice, Snickers, and peanut butter and jelly. Those are the main staples.
Pickle juice, Snickers, and peanut butter and jelly.
Just chug pickle juice.
Peanut butter and jelly I get. Pickle juice, I'm like, why not do Element? I always call it LMNT. I love Element. I think it's great.
It's like the best thing for not cramping. And then I also took and every single water bottle was Hunter's Hydro.
Yeah.
Which actually did wonders. Like
it does.
The whole race.
Hunter's Hydro is great because it's got BCAAs too.
Yeah.
And so for a race like that, it's probably the best thing you can drink.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of sodium. It's got electrolytes. So it's like, it kept me going and hydrated.
I'm surprised you even needed pickle juice with Hunter's stuff.
That's kind of like a mentality thing for me is like, it's just like, and it prevents cramping. So like, just in case, I would just like drink some of that each lap.
Yeah. And then the peanut butter and jelly, I can see that. That's just so like highly caloric and everything. Yep. But didn't you get palate fatigue at all?
Not really. I take like bites of things. I also don't eat as many calories as I should. I need to do better, but like it works for me. So I'll keep doing it. And then like pizza, like I'd throw in other things as well, but
yeah, I needed to switch at every place. I mean, I lived on, Stroop waffles.
Oh, I love those too. Yeah.
Stroop waffles. I'm very strategic about eating every 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And I just keep going every 20, every 20, every 20. And I eat like one every 20. And then at the aid stations, that's when I would chow down. And I would just like go hardcore calories. But
well, I had like during Spartan, I had a waffle every single lap. So that was really nice. And then, like I know you're supposed to kind of switch like salty, sweet, crunchy, whatever. But it was like whatever I wanted to eat.
I think you do
whatever I felt like,
So,
pizza works well at like midnight.
I read somewhere it said an ultra is not a running race, it's an eating competition.
That's true too. You have to fuel and stay hydrated. Otherwise, like, your race is over.
Yeah, I think I missed one place to eat and it hurt me. I started to get a little bit delusional from not eating. And I ate some Swedish fish at one point and they were awful.
That's hard. Anything chewy or like gummy. People love candy. I was like, no, thank you.
No.
And Advil. You got to eat a lot of Advil.
I drank that makes a huge difference. I drank a drink called Tailwind that's made in Boulder. That is a ton of sugar and a ton of sodium, and that helped me a lot. But if I
they have like Tailwind and Scratch, but those always kind of mess with my stomach.
Yeah, that's
so stick to Hydro.
And I was just gonna say the stuff that would work in this kind of race, if I were to do it again, I'd do Hydro because of the BCAAs and the sodium. Who would ever known that Hunter knows something right to do?
Yep. Look, we just gave him a great plug for.
Is he selling it? Is he selling it now? Is it?
Yes. Yep.
Where's Hunter selling his Hydro?
On his website, so housetraining.com, HAOS. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Katie, thank you. Tell Hunter thanks for not coming on the show. I appreciate it. I really was hoping he didn't show up. So
I'll tell him for you.
Okay. And thanks for doing the show. And hey, you guys listening, you know what to do. Rate, review, comment, and join the Patreon. It's only $5, guys. Join the Patreon. Bye-bye.